Welcome everyone to our backtesting jam session. All right, so today we are going to continue our backtesting session that where we left off last week. We are going to look at each candlestick, and our goal is to look at what direction the market will go next. So that's our goal. Based on what price action we see, we are looking for what's coming up. So we're going to predict or guess what the next candlestick will be. And we're not using any indicators here, it's just looking at price action. The idea is to get used to price action and get comfortable with the price action. And we are going to look at the daily candlesticks. And this is one of the easiest trading strategies, I would say, in the sense that we are only looking at the daily candle close. And once we have a solid candle close based on the candle, the daily candle, as well as the support and resistance level, we are just looking at what we expect next. Let's get started. And if you are joining me live, please feel free to say hello and be ready to participate. Participate. Okay, so here we are. All right, so let's get started here. Excuse me, sorry. I am just recovering from my cold here. So back to our Forex tester. Here we are. So this is what we can see. I'm going to zoom out here to see where we are in the grand scheme of things. We have price pushing up. We are making higher lows, and price has pushed up off of our support level. And now it's back up here. So our daily candle close is looking bullish here. We are into resistance shortly here coming up. And then above that, there is more room to the upside, but slowly and steadily price has been creeping up. So let's get started here. All right, so based on this candle close here, what do you expect price to do next? We have a bullish candle close. It bounced off of the support level, and price is making higher lows. So here I would be looking for price to continue up higher and potentially go and test this resistance level. And if it breaks through that, my next support and resistance level will be at 1.6095 area here. So I'm looking for price to go higher. Here we go. Price went up, went past our resistance level, and actually went into the next support right over here. So we have these pins into this support resistance level. So price went above the previous pin here and has pulled back from here slightly. So now what do we expect price to do? We have bullish candle close. It's right into the high of the day. So it hasn't quite broken the high here, but it is close to it. So what do we expect here? All right, so here I am looking for price to actually go up again and potentially go and test this high or go even higher. So I'm looking for price to continue upwards here. So let's take a look. Here we are. Price goes right into the high, tries to go slightly higher and pulls back from there. So what do we expect here? Hey, Prithpa. All right, so we have a bullish candle close and price is moving higher. So here I would be looking for another push to the upside. The momentum is still to the upside. Now the candle body is getting smaller here, and we do have pins on both sides. So the momentum is still to the upside, but we have to be careful because now the momentum, we are seeing smaller candle bodies. So let's take a look. I'm looking for price to go into the next high here. Let's see if that happens. Okay, so this is what I meant about being careful here, because so what you'll notice is when the candle bodies are larger, that means there's more momentum to the upside. And when the candle bodies start getting smaller here, there's more of a chance for price to turn around. So here we see that price tried to break to the next level, close down, close below, and then it has turned. So in situations like this, I would when we are doing under the live market conditions or trading under live market conditions, I would like to see what happens at the high, because if the price closes below, likely it will go lower, or if it closes above the previous support resistance area, it will go higher. So this week, actually, we are supposed to kind of break it down to a lower time frame, a 1 hour time frame. So we'll do that. So today I didn't have my chart set up properly on the Forex tester, but tomorrow we will take a look at, we'll split the screen here and we'll take a look at the daily candle. And based on the daily candle, we'll go to the lower time frame and we'll take a look at how price reacts at the lower time frames on the 1 hour time frame. And we'll do the testing on both of those time frames. For now, I would, we'll just go with the daily candlesticks. All right, so we have a big bearish engulfing candle here. What do we expect? What do we expect price to do here? Okay, in this case, I would be looking for price to go lower. We could get a pullback into the support and resistance area, but overall, I'm looking for price to go lower into this support resistance area, and then maybe go lower. Pritpal says pull back and then go down. Yes, I am with you on that. Let's take a look. Okay, so it didn't pull back, just went lower into the next support and resistance area right over here. And then we have a pin to the downside. Now, what do we expect? Okay, so since we have a pin here, I would be looking, the pin shows a rejection. So I would be looking for price to go up from here. Gregory says go up. Hey, Gregory. All right, I am looking for price to go up here as well, because the pin to the downside shows that price is rejecting that level. So now I'd be looking for price to go up. So let's take a look. Okay, it didn't do that. So normally when we have a doji like this, it's a rejection and hence continuation to the upside. So now that we have a bearish candle close, what do we expect price to do next? So that one was a failed pin bar or doji. So in this case, I'd be looking for maybe a bit of a pullback and then a further drop here. This is looking bearish. My target will be to the downside here. Pritpal says to the downside as well. Okay, so I'm looking for price to go lower. Greg saying remaining bearish. Yes. Okay, so we're all looking to the downside. Let's see if that happens. Hi, Danielle. Danielle says going down as well. Okay, so we have a pullback. I was looking for a pullback into this pin, slightly larger. What are we expecting now? So does anything change in your analysis? All right, so for me here, I would still be looking for price to go lower here. So I would consider this as a pullback, and I'd look for price to drop into the next support and resistance area here at 1.5768 level. So Greg is bullish. All right, so let's take a look. Let's see what happens. Oh, bullish. All right. So now we have a bullish candle close. Price is closing back into the high here. Hey, Joel. All right. So what do we expect now? Okay, so for me here, price is starting to look bullish, especially with this candle close here. Now we are into resistance, so that we need to be mindful of. But right now, this is looking bullish. So it looks like price held above this level, this support resistance level here. Now we're looking bullish, but we are into resistance. So I would be cautiously bullish. And Greg says cautious. Joel's okay. Greg is looking up. Joel says down. Let's take a look. Okay, so we have down. So price is just going sideways here. Danielle says up. All right, so we are just going, so it looks like price has become range bound at this point. It's not going up or down. It just kind of goes sideways at the moment. But we do have a bearish candle close. What do we expect next? So here for me, I would be looking for price to come and test the low here. Now we are range bound. So for the last 4 days here, 5 days, price has been a range bound. So basically our range trading strategies is kind of what we're looking for here. So at this point, I'd be looking for price to go down and test the low. If it breaks through, then I'm looking for price to go to the next level, excuse me. And so let's take a look. Okay, so we are pushing up now, back into the top of the candle here, top of the range now. Now what? Where do we expect it to go next? So at this point, because it's looking bullish, I would look for price to go higher here. Both Greg and Pitbull saying up as well. Okay, so let's take a look. Okay, so here we are. We are making higher highs. We have a bullish candle close. What next? Excuse me. Okay, Joel says up. I would be looking for price to move higher as well. And in the grand scheme of things, if we were to zoom out here, let's take a look. We are back into this resistance area over here where price had reacted previously, but it is looking bullish. So I'm looking for price to move up here. All right, so let's take a look. Haha. All right, so this is not quite completely bullish here. We have pulled back. So this is why we want to zoom back out and look at where we are in the grand scheme of things. As we can see, price had reacted at this level previously a few times here. So big bearish candle close here. Where do we expect the price to go next? Okay, so for me, I would be looking for price to go down from here. So, you know, as I think there's a time delay in terms of when I am getting the comments and between when you guys are putting it and when you're hearing me versus when I'm actually speaking. So I guess there's a bit of a delay there. So what I would say is as soon as you see the candle, just put your comment in. So that way I will get to see it in time. So it looks like everybody is looking for price to drop after this, and I'm with you. I'm looking for price to go into this level and then into the next support level. So my bias is also to the downside, just like Greg, Pitbull, and Joel here. All right, so let's take a look. Not so much. So now we're back into the bottom of the range here, and we have price moving higher. So as soon as you guys see the candle appear, just post your comments before I ask for it, because I think there's a delay in the comments coming through. So now what do we expect price to do from here? So for me, I'd be looking for price to go up again into the top here. So it seems to be that price is trading in this range here. So I'm looking for price to go up higher towards the high of the range here. Let's take a look. Okay, so now we are into the high of the range. Where do we expect price to go next? Okay, for me, I would treat this as a range bound. So right now I'm looking for price to go and test the high here. and then I would look for a close back into the range. So if it does close to the upside here, then this will turn bullish once again. So Greg says up, still hitting resistance. You're looking for a move to the upside. I am looking for a move to the upside as well, but I think it may hit the resistance here. So my bias is to the upside into the resistance. So Joel says up as well. Let's take a look here. Okay, here we are. We actually went past the resistance here. All right, so now we have a big solid candle close above the previous high. Where do we expect price to go next? So here I would be looking for price to go and test the high once again and potentially even higher. So all the way into this previous support resistance level here. So let's take a look. Okay, here we are, right into the high. And we have a bullish candle close. So where to now? Okay, so Greg and Joel both says pullbacks are right. Yeah, we could get pullback, but my bias is still to the upside. Okay, so I'm looking for price to go into the high here. So now the candle bodies are starting to get a little smaller. So we'll have to be mindful of that, but the bias still stays bullish. So looks like everybody is saying up. Let's take a look. Here we are. So the candle body is back into the high here. All right, so what next? Here we are into the top of these candles right here, and where are we expecting price to go now? So Joel says down. All right. So if you scroll back, Britball says up. Okay. So there is right about there, we have the next level of support and resistance. Above that, about there. Okay, let's see. Where are we? Over there. I went too far. Okay. Bias is up. Gregory says up. Britball says up. Joel says up. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, we have a bit of a pullback here. So my bias is still to the upside. Let's see if we get the follow through move here. Okay, we have a small little candle. What are we looking for now? So here I'd be looking for price to maybe react here and come down. So we are into resistance, right into the very tip here. The candle bodies have gotten smaller. And so at this point, so this is where we would want to go to a smaller time frame and see what the reaction is at this level. So if at the resistance here, price crosses this and closes to the other side on the 1 hour chart, then chances are it will go up. But from here, because we are into resistance, it can go down as well. So we would have to go to a smaller time frame and take a look. But I think it could come down from here. So we are seeing down, down, up. All right, let's take a look. Okay, so it did come down, but now it is closing right into the high here, or just above the high. So, and now what do we expect? Okay, so here I would be looking for a further move to the upside, and the next area of interest would be about there. So Greg says up, Britball says up. All right. I am looking for a further move to the upside as well. Let's take a look if we can get that. Small candle close here. Now what? All right, so here I am looking for a potential reversal. So this is not where I would go short, but I would be looking for price to reverse here just because we do have this this doji here, this indecision candle that shows that there is not enough momentum to the upside. So this is neutral. So Greg says still bullish. All right. So for me here, I would be neutral. So I'd be looking to see how price reacts around this level. And I would be keeping an eye open for potential reversal here as well. So let's take a look. Okay, no, it held above the previous, it did pull back a little bit, held above the previous high, and we are off into the next support and resistance level. So where to next? Okay, so for me here, I would be looking for price to continue higher. So this is looking bullish. So next level is at 1.6346, about 50-ish level. So my bias is to the upside. And Joel says up, Prithpal says pullback. Okay, so overall bias is still to the upside. So now the candle is getting bigger. So it looks like there's more momentum to the upside here. So let's take a look. Joel says pullback as well. Yeah, so we could get a pullback and then a further move to the upside. So bias here will be bullish. Let's take a look. Oh, I went a little too far. Sorry. Pressed it a couple of times. So we did have it went a little bit higher, and then we had a bearish. So I skipped a couple of steps here. We had a bearish candle close. Now we have this second tiny little candle close. What are we expecting now? Okay, so I'd be looking for price to come and test this level, this 1.6161 level, back into this support level again. Ripple says down as well. So let's take a look. Okay, so here we are, right into that support. Okay, so what next? Okay, so from here, this is interesting. So we had a nice big move to the upside. We have a pullback, and so overall bias is still to the upside here, but we are seeing this pullback. Now the pullback could go lower into this support area. So that's what we need to see. So under these kind of circumstances, this is where I would go to the smaller time frame over here and see how the price is reacting. So I'm hoping we can do the 1 hour chart, break it down tomorrow. So I think we could drop a bit here. So let's take a look if it will pull back further into this level. So this is where I would go into a smaller time frame and I would watch what price does at this level. So here we have gone up. So there is potential for further pullback, but overall bias is to the upside. So let's see. Okay, so it's kind of holding. We have a neutral candle. What now? So for me, my bias would stay the same. So let's take a look. Okay, so we have a bearish candle close. What now? Okay, so here I would look for price to come back down into the support level here. So let's see. Okay, it came down a bit, but now we have a bullish candle close. What now? Okay, so we are back with our close above the high. So at this point, I will look for price to go up further, and we could see price move up into this resistance level. So looks like you guys are thinking up as well at this point. All right, so I am with you on that, looking for price to go back up, either into this resistance or back into the high. Not so much. What now? There was a nice little run here to the upside, and now it's going sideways. Yeah, so here I think it could drop further here. It is sideways at the moment, and this one could actually go either ways because it's a sideways market at the moment. So we need to see which side it breaks to before we actually develop a bias. Overall, the bias is still to the upside. We are holding above this previous high here. So this previous support resistance area. And we have, so this is where we are in the grand scheme of things. As we can see, it's holding above. So as long as price holds above this is 1.6120 level, then chances are it could go higher. So right now it's sideways. So we need to see if it comes back, breaks down into this level. Then it could go further. If not, it could pull up higher. So this is, again, one of those times when you would go to a smaller time frame to check what it's doing. So let's take a look. Okay, so we did come right back into these pins here. And now we have, we came right into this previous pin. Okay, so now we have a pin bar. Now what do we expect? Okay, I'd be looking for price to move up higher from here. This shows rejection. We are into the support here. So at this point, I'd be looking for price to go up. So Joel says down, Pritwal says up. Let's take a look. Okay, we are neutral, completely neutral candle here. What now? I think, Joel, I may be seeing your comments completely at the wrong time here, it seems. Okay, so now we are sideways. So this one, it would not be the best time to take this, trade this particular pair because there's really no direction at this point. We have a move to the upside. Right now, we are neutral here. And so we just have to see what price does. So at this point, we either need to see a close to the downside or we need to see a bullish close that engulfs this previous candles for us to continue to the upside. So this is when we want to go check out a different pair to see if there is a good trade setup for us to take something. All right, so let's take a look now. So we need to see what the next candle brings us. Okay, Joel had said down. Okay, so here we are. We have gone down. Now what? So here we have a candle close right into the support. It hasn't broken the support. So there is the bias. We could see price come down, but because we are into support, again, this could prevent us from dropping. So right now the tilt is in terms of bias is slightly to the downside here, but we have to see a close below this support level and back into this area for it to continue lower. But I'm looking for that particular break. Okay, so we haven't seen that break. Price pulled back, small candle close. What do we expect now? Nothing really has changed. We have seen price pull back a bit, react to the support level. So we still need to see price close either to the downside or in a meaningful way above this support level here. So let's take a look. Now we have a good close to the downside. Big bearish candle close to the downside. What do we expect now? All right, so here I'd be looking for price to drop further so we could have a pullback and then drop here. So Joel, Greg, everybody's saying down. I would look for it to drop as well. Pitbull says down as well. Okay, let's take a look. Here we are. Now what? Okay, so I'm still looking further downside. Jill says down. All right, so let's take a look. Here we are, big solid candle close here. What now? So here I'm looking for price to drop further. So now we could see price come into this next support and resistance area. So it looks like everybody's saying to the downside as well. See? Haha, not so much. So we came into support here and now price is not doing that. So what now? So Greg says pullback, likely bias to the downside. I am of that opinion here as well. And Joel says to the downside. Okay, so what I'm looking for here, we do have a bullish candle close here. It's not an engulfing candle close, so there's not quite a shift in momentum yet. But we could see a further pullback, but overall bias is still to the downside. So let's take a look. It pulses up. So I'm looking for a pullback maybe into this level here. And if then our candle doesn't break the high, then the next candle I'd be looking for a down, for a move to the downside. So right now I'm just looking for price to come back into the next pin there. So let's take a look. Okay, we have a small candle close. What now? Okay, so here price is holding above the support here, hasn't really gone anywhere. So I'm still looking for price to break down here. But if you get a bullish candle close here, then we could start going back. So we have to see either a break of the support, otherwise we're going to see the price go back up again. Okay, so here's the break of the support that I was talking about. So this is I find this tends to happen when we get a bullish candle like this and there's no follow through on this, then usually we tend to get this bearish candle close here, because normally when we have a bullish candle like this, I would be looking for a follow through either into the high of the candle or at least into this pin bar. And when it's a small candle like this, then this could continue. What do we expect now? Okay, so here I will be looking for price to go down further. Joel saying down. Let's see. Okay, here we are. So we had a drop and we had this little sideways move flag, and now I would be looking for a continuation move to the downside. So we have a bearish candle close, looking for it to drop. Looks like everybody is thinking the same thing here, looking for a further drop. So I'm looking for price to drop into the support level here. Let's take a look. Okay, so here we are, had a bit of a pullback and then a drop. We have a bearish pin bar here. Gregory says down. So we are coming into support here, which we do need to be mindful of, but overall bias is still to the downside. Joel says down as well. Let's take a look. Here we are, neutral. Now what? Okay, Greg says that it's at support, but the bias is still to the downside. Okay, I would think the same, but we have to be careful here. So under real live market conditions, this is not a trade I would take here, just because it is right into support. And bad things can happen. So in real life, we would go down to a smaller time frame and see how price reacts to the support level. If it closes above, then we're likely to see a pullback, or if it closes below, then we're likely to see a continuation to the downside. Overall bias is still to the downside, and from this measured move kind of perspective, there's still room for it to go drop down further. So let's take a look. Okay, it pulled back a bit. We have a small candle close. What next? Okay, so here I'll be looking for price to drop down further back into the support. And if it closes below, then I'd be looking for price to drop further. So, okay, let's take a look. So I'm seeing comments that says down, buy still to the downside. Okay, perfect. So it looks like everybody is saying it's going to drop, and I am of the same opinion. Let's see. Okay, so here we are. Candle closed right into the support. What next? So looks like bias is still to the downside, and I'd be looking for a break of that support. So here it looks like price tried to test this or tested the resistance level 3 times, and it hasn't been able to break it. So the chances are it could drop here. So I'd be looking for price to drop down further here. So let's take a look. Okay, so Greg and Pripal still saying buys to the downside. Me too. Joel says down. Let's see. Oh, there we go. That's a big candle close right into the support that we were just talking about. Big bearish candle close. What now? Okay, so here, since we have a big candle close and we have filled that measure move thing here, so I think we could get a pullback, but the bias still stays to the downside. So we could see a further drop, and it could go all the way down here as well. Yeah, but because it is a big candle close, yes, we could get a pullback. And Greg saying pullback likely. Yes. All right. So looks like we have consensus on move to the downside. Okay, so here we are, bit of a pullback, another move to the downside. What now? Okay, so here my bias still stays to the downside, and we have room to the downside. So I'd be looking for price to drop further back into the support level here. So bias stays to the downside. Okay, here we are, right into our support. And now we have a large pin to the downside. What are we expecting now? Okay, so this is an interesting level here. So when we zoom back, we see that last 3 times price came here, we saw it go back up. So we're back into this solid level of support. And chances are there will be some buyers sitting here. We do have a large pin to the downside. So in this case, what price could do is price could come back to test this level once again and then bounce off of that. But overall, I think the momentum is likely to change at this point. So let's take a look. Okay, so we have a small candle close. What now? Okay, so we have another small pin. What are we expecting? Okay, so here, because there is a pin to the downside, we could, and price hasn't been able to break the low, we could see a pullback, price moving up higher here. So let's take a look. Greg is saying retest of support likely, but bias is bullish. All right, so let's take a look. Here we are, right back into that support again. So now we have a big bullish candle close, but to keep in mind, this is right into support. What are we expecting now? I mean, right into resistance, I should say. Okay, so Joel says up. All right, so here we could go higher, but like I said, because we are into resistance, again, we would have to see, this is when we'd go to a smaller time frame and see if what price will do at this point. So let's see what it does. Okay, so it did go into the next level. It was bullish, went to the next level. So Greg and Pritpal here, good job. Now we have a pin on the upside. What are we looking for now? So it's right into this support resistance area. Okay, so here we have a bullish candle close, but we have a large pin to the upside. So here it could go and retest the high once again. So I would look for that, but overall here we may not have a ton of momentum to the upside. So let's take a look. So overall, so Greg says I'm still bullish, Jill says down. So here the momentum, we do have not probably I shouldn't say the momentum, we do have green candle close. So there's still buyers here. So looking for price to go back into resistance and potentially get run into resistance there. Let's take a look. It didn't even go there. Okay, so now what do we expect? Okay, so here what I see is we have a bearish candle close, but we have pinned to the downside and we are right into price has held above this previous support here. So now we are going sideways here, and again, it will be one of those things. The overall bias here is still to the downside. We are seeing a pullback. So because we have this pullback, this candle here in itself is neutral because we have a bearish candle close and we have a pin in the bottom that makes it a neutral. So we have a bearish and then the bullishness out of the pin. So at this point, it could go sideways here and before it decides where it's going to go. But it could kind of go up from here, or it could go downward. So right now, I think it's a sideways type of move, and we'll have to wait and see where price wants to go next. But what it could do is it could just retest this and go back up here as well, or just from here go straight into the resistance. So this one I'm completely neutral on. Let's take a look. Okay. So we have gone up into the resistance, and now we have a bearish candle close. What are we expecting now? Okay, so here I would look for price to come back down into the support here. We do have a bearish candle close. We have two pins into that resistance level. So I'd be looking for price to draw back into the support level. It is kind of sideways at the moment. So let's take a look. And we have gone higher. So Pritpal, you're correct. Price has gone higher. What about now? Okay, so now we have a bullish engulfing candle close into resistance, but still bullish engulfing candle. So we could go higher back into this support resistance area. Now this is an important resistance area though, so we have to be careful here. So it looks like everybody's looking for an up move. Let's take a look. Okay, so this is what I was saying. This resistance level is important here because price wasn't able to clear it yet. So now we have a bearish candle here. So we're kind of in a sideways move at the moment. So where do you expect next candle to go? So at this point, I would look for price to come back down into the bottom of these candles here or even further down. So let's take a look. Okay, instead we have a bullish candle close. What now? Okay, Joel saying that. Gregory says, I think the support will hold. I am of that. That's what I'm thinking here as well. So price is slowly and steadily making this a little move to the upside. So as we can see, price has been doing this little move to the upside. That's been holding that trend line there. So now I'm looking for price to go up. So it looks like everybody's expecting it to go higher as well. Okay, perfect. So bias is to the upside. Let's take a look. Here we are. Yes. So as we can see, support held. Our little trend line is still going up, and we have this big, huge move right into the next resistance area. What are we expecting now? Okay, so here I am looking for a pullback. That's a huge candle, so we could get a pullback, and the bias is up, looking for it to go further up. Let's take a look. Okay, went right into the next level here. Now we have a red candle close. What now? Okay, so here, I think we could see, another reaction at the resistance level here. Let's take a look. Now what? Okay, so we have another bullish candle close here. So I would be looking for price to go up higher into the next support and resistance area, back into this level here. So bias still stays bullish here. Let's take a look. Oh, we have a neutral candle close and we haven't broken the high yet. What are we looking for now? Okay, so here, what do we see? We see that we have an upward move, upward bias here, but now we are coming into the resistance here, and a price is struggling. Since we have this neutral candle close here, price could come back into this support level right here. Overall bias is still bullish, but I think it could come back down into this and do kind of like a sideways move here. And so we'll have to see where price closes in relation to this area, because this is an important area where price had reacted previously. So here I'd be looking for a bit of a drop into this level. And if it holds above, then we could see a continuation to the upside. So let's take a look. Okay, so here's our candle close. Now what? So here, this is a nice solid candle close here. And this is looking quite bearish, but we are into support. That's something that we do have to be careful with. So at this point, we could see a pullback here and maybe then a drop, but it would be important to see if the price will clear the support level here. Okay, so it looks like everybody is saying down. Let's take a look. Okay, here we are, neutral, candle close. What now? All right, so here I'd be looking for, this is an interesting one. So we need to see a break of this support level here for it to continue lower. So this is where we would want to go down to a smaller time frame and check this out. But the bias still stays to the downside, and we could see price go into this next level here. However, if the price is not able to break this level here, if we get a bullish candle, then price is likely to continue higher. So this one is, this one we'll have to sort of wait and see because it is very neutral. All right, so we have some guesses to the downside. Greg says, will depend. Yes, all right, let's take a look. Okay, so we have another candle close to the downside. What now? Okay, so here I think we could drop further back into this support resistance area. So let's take a look. Okay, it's actually closed bullish now. Now what? And of course, so when we are trading the live charts, like we wouldn't take trades on every single candle. So even though we are trying to guess on these little candles that don't really give us substantial information, under live market condition, we wouldn't take a trade on this candle because it just doesn't give us enough information. So we would want to see either close to the downside or to the upside, or we would go to a smaller time frame to take a look at these things. So just wanted to point that out there. All right, so now we have a good bullish candle close here. Now, what do we expect? So it looks like I am seeing bullish up. Okay, perfect. So I am looking for further move to the upside back into this resistance area. So let's take a look. We have, instead, we get a bearish candle close. Now what? So here, now I would look for price to drop here because that's a bearish signal here. We saw price push up and then we have this railroad reversal. So I'm looking for price to drop from here. We have some, okay, Pripal says down. Joel and Gregory say, okay, I'm sorry, Gregory is saying sideways, bearish, okay. All right, so I'm looking for price to come into the next support level. Let's take a look. Here we are, pull back and drop. What now? Joel, don't worry about it. You know, the more you do it, the more, and then this is the whole point of it. We keep on going. It's like, you know, if you're playing hockey, you're just basically shooting in the net. All right, so everybody's saying further down. Yes, I would be looking for price to drop back down here as well. Let's take a look. Oh, not so much. We are all wrong. Okay, big bullish move to the upside here. Now what? Okay, Kila saying up. All right, I would say up as well. We could get a pullback and then go back up again. All right, so let's take a look. So I'm looking for a further move back up into these pins here. Let's see if you get that. Pritpal says up. Greg says back up to bullish. Yes, it is toying with us. Okay, Joel says pull back. Oops, sorry, I think I kind of went too many times. So we have a little candle close and then we have something that's not really looking like a candle. And I think my data is not acting properly. So it looks like we have a drop. So our market price line is right here. But looks like there's a problem with the data. So I think that, so this looks like it's a bearish candle close. What then? Okay, so here I think we could get a pullback into this and then a further drop. So let's see. Here we go. All right, we can read charts without the candle being present. What's next? Okay, so here I'm looking for price to, so Joel, actually that's not really a gap. It's just the data is missing. I think it's a software issue as opposed to actually being a gap. So I would treat that as a bearish candle. All right, so everybody's saying so let's see. Pritpal, Greg saying down. Akila saying pull back to support, then up. All right, so this is an important support. So all right, so what I will look for is a break of the support and see if price holds below this. This would be good to go to a lower time frame to take a look at. But just for the sake of guessing here, I would look for a drop. So let's see. So we have everybody guessing in different directions. Let's take a look. Keela, good job there. So we had a drop into support and now we have a bullish candle close. What are we expecting now? All right, so we're kind of into a sideways move here. No real break. So we either need to see a break to the downside, but right now we are sideways. So I would wait and see on this one. But because we do have a bullish candle close here, it could pull back into the next support resistance area here. All right, so we are seeing Greg says up, Purple says up. All right, let's take a look. Oh, all right, so this didn't really do much. Okay, so it looks like I have data issues here, and then it dropped. Okay, so we will, you know what, we can go for another few minutes. Looks like I'm having data issues. I may have to download my data once again, but looks like this is a red candle close. I would take this as a bearish candle close. Looks like it was just hovering around here, and then the price line has dropped. And from here, based on bearish candle, hey Sunny. So based on the bearish candle close here, I think we could drop further. So let's take a look. Oh, not so much. We are back up again with the big bullish candle close. All right, what do you guys guess next? Where are we going with this? Okay, because there's a big candle, bullish candle close, my bias would be to the upside. We could get a pullback here and then a further move to the upside. So let's take a look. Purple says up as well. The line is the market close. Okay. All right, so looks like everybody was saying up. Okay, what next? Okay, so here, this is a good bullish candle close. Pin is to the downside, candle body closed into the high, or close to the high. So that's a good bullish candle close. I'd be looking for price to move back up into this previous support resistance area. Okay, so looks like everybody are saying up. See? Okay. Continuation. All right, so looks like it did. Looks like I'm running into data issues here. So we do have candle moved up, not a huge candle, but looks like it's moved up slowly. So I'm just going to do one more. So now it's dropped here. So it looks like I'm having data issues. Okay, there we go. We have more data. So we have another bullish candle close. What next? Okay, so this is bullish candle close, good strong candle. So I'd look for price to continue further back into this resistance level here. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, so we're seeing up. Kilo says pull back, then up. Purple says up. Okay. And not so much. We have a bearish candle close now. So basically what price is doing, just going back and forth. We are into the support resistance level though. So I was looking for it to go higher into this area, but not so much. So it has closed below here. So now we have a bearish engulfing candle close. What now? Okay, so here we'll take a look at, so now we are bearish, and I will look for a drop. Okay, so Greg is saying going sideways, bearish for the next candle, overall bullish. Okay, Jill says down, Purple says down. Okay, so I'm looking for, Sunny says down as well. All right, so I'm looking for a drop here as well. I do like this candle. It is looking bearish, so let's take a look. Okay, so here we are. All right, so here we have a bearish candle close, looking for price to drop further here. Let's see. Oh, tiny little candle, but still bearish. Okay, what's next? So, all right, so here I will look for a drop as well. So I'm still looking for price to go into the support here. Okay, what now? Okay, Sunny saying into support. People says down, further down. Jill says up. All right. Let's see. Kill is neutral. Let's take a look. That looks like a big bullish candle close here. All right, so it looks like I'm having some data issues. So let's wrap it up here. We've been going at it for an hour, so good job, everyone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go I will download the data once again, and tomorrow we will meet again at the same time. So tomorrow I would like to take our testing to the next level. So far we've only been testing just purely on the daily candle. So now we will take a look at a breakdown on the hourly. So we'll start off with a daily candle to find the market direction, and then we will look for a 1 hour close. So we'll talk about that tomorrow. So you guys have a wonderful rest of the evening or morning, wherever you happen to be, and we will meet once again tomorrow. Okay, enjoy the rest of your day. Bye for now. And thank you, everyone, for joining me today. Good job, and we'll do this again tomorrow. Bye.